Hey everybody, welcome back to the Two Dum Yinzers. This is episode 80. Episode 80. How are you doing today, Michael?
Oh, I'm doing great. 80 episodes. I
80?
never would have thought.
I don't think I've done 80 of anything in my whole entire life.
80 pizza rolls, that may be it.
Yes. You know what? And I just bought, remember those tacos I used to go on and on about, those mini tacos?
Yeah.
I might have eaten about 80 of them. I went to the store the other day and bought like 3 boxes, and I can't stop eating them, man. I found the perfect meal. You get these tacos and this special cheese that I found.
Yeah.
Perfect, man. Perfect.
That's too many mini tacos.
It's a lot of mini tacos.
I'd be sick.
You know what? You'd be surprised, I think.
Yeah, but here I am saying, I can eat 80 pizza rolls, but 80 mini tacos is too much for me. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah, you know what? I think the pizza rolls might be too much for me. Just the way they don't ever cook right. They burn the roof of the mouth, or they never done the whole way through. It's just the whole thing, the whole process of eating pizza rolls,
Yeah, because if you eat it too quick, you burn the roof of your mouth, your day's ruined.
Right. Or if you overdo them, they kind of get rubbery and they're hard to eat. Or if you don't do them enough, then the inside's cold.
Yeah,
it's a fucking science. You literally have to fucking know what you're doing out of a pizza roll.
Yes, yeah. But when they're cooked perfectly,
yeah, right.
It's a party in my mouth.
And so everybody, you can see by the screen today, and we want to thank everybody for tuning in an hour early today. We are at a special time because we have a special episode today. You can see on the screen that it's not just Mike and I. It's not just the Two Dum Yinzers. We have a guest. We have a good friend of mine, actually. This is Andrea. Andrea and I, we grew up in the same neighborhood, and I wanted to have her on today to talk during our special episode. How are you doing today, Andrea?
Good. Very good.
Awesome. Looking good. You're looking good. I haven't seen you in many, many years. You're still looking good, sister.
Thank you.
No problem. So today, everybody, it's true. We're going to have a special episode. And what we're going to do today, I want to talk about and recognize Pride, the Pride Month. This is Pride Month, everybody. June, every year. Don't let it slip your mind. Think about this. It's happening for a reason. And the reasons are good, people. So listen, watch our show, listen with an open mind. And I at the end of the day, I hope we all learn something.
Yes.
So Andrea, how have you been? How have you been for, oh geez, it's gotta be almost 30 years.
All right. It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, huh? You ain't kidding. And you know what? That's the perfect way to put it. And at the end of the day, that's the way I found life is. Life is a fucking roller coaster, man.
Yeah.
You're never up here too long. As soon as you're up here, it's going to come down, and it's a thing. It's a whole thing.
Absolutely.
Now, Andrea, I'm very excited to talk to you today in our episode, our Pride special episode, because I think I seen you at the Pride parade this weekend. I was scrolling down my Facebook and I seen that you participated in the parade. Is that true?
Yes.
How was it? Was it a nice turnout?
Oh yeah, there was a lot of people. There are a lot of people.
Now let me ask you, Andrea, do you go regularly?
Yes.
Okay, so that kind of leads me to my next question. Does it seem like the amount of people that show up every year, is the number growing? Does it seem like it's getting to be a bigger number every year, or is it staying about the same?
Well, it's bigger. It's bigger.
Good. Oh, that's fantastic. And one thing that I did notice, while I was scrolling around, because that's really all I do is I just scroll all the time. But I noticed that a lot of people on my timeline were also posting about the Pride Parade. I know a friend of ours from the show, Balls from Elwood. He's also from the Howard Stern show. Now, his wife, I seen that she took her daughter and her friend, and I thought, what, this is support that I haven't seen personally, to turn on, to get on social media and just see so many different people of so many different backgrounds are attending or supporting or recognizing or giving the attention that I believe deserves to be heard. Andrea, what would you say? What would you say is something that you're noticing? Are you noticing the progress of the movement getting better? Are you seeing things, happening, or, does it still have a long way to go, do you think?
I mean, there's still some things that need to be done, but there's definite progress. I mean, there's more people attending every year. More families are coming to show,
Yeah.
that they care for their family. I mean, it's just each year it just surprises me, because when you think they can't fit no more people in them streets, here comes another 100,000.
That's great. That's fantastic. And that's got to make you feel good, because like you said, here we are, people are finally coming around and saying, you know what, I just can't tune my family out. I can't tune my daughter out. I can't disown my son because it's not right. You know what I mean? You're going to sit there, someone might sit there and say, well, what's going on isn't right. But what you're doing by disowning family, that's not right. That's what's not right. Do you agree?
Yeah.
And, and I think that's progress. I mean, obviously, I'm paying attention to 50 different things. I'm trying to come up with stories for, different every day, different guests. So I don't pay attention to it as much as other people. But in my humble opinion, it seems to me like things are moving in the right direction.
I mean, they are, and I hope it keeps going that way. I mean, you see, one thing I noticed is there's a lot more younger teenagers that
Okay.
are showing up for the parade than before. And I think with the movement being what it is, it's easier for them to tell their families who they are, and then they're there. I mean, you turn around and there'll be a group of 20 what looks like 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds
Yeah.
standing there. And before, you didn't see that. I mean, it's definitely growing.
Yes. And you know what that says to me? It's a great sign, because before the internet and just ways to communicate and learn that, there's things going on around me, people that were 16 years old, they didn't have this outlet. You know what I mean? There wasn't that. You kind of felt isolated. I would think people might have felt isolated because they didn't know of all the outlets. They didn't know of all the groups. They didn't know of the just everything that's going on that's positive. And I really think that plays part to it now. And it's really cool that, like you said, I mean, younger kids are seeing it and they don't have to feel isolated. Hopefully that could bring down the number of like suicides amongst teens, things like that, because at the end of the day, that's what's important. Because at the end of the day, no matter what anybody believes, at the end of the day, you don't want your loved ones to be dead. You know what I mean? So let's figure this out. Let's try to gap this bridge as people and say, I don't want my brother committing suicide. I don't need my brother being a victim of a hate crime. So, that's kind of what I wanted to do today, not only just to recognize, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit, maybe get your opinion, because I think a lot of times people, they just don't know how to react to things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the average person has a lot of questions, and maybe they're afraid to talk to somebody. Maybe they don't have somebody to talk to. But I think, like I said, at the end of the day, once they find out that their cousin Joey, is going to be fine, and you don't have to worry about him committing suicide or this, that at the end of the day is what's important, is the lives of people around us,
Absolutely.
So let me ask you a few questions. Have you ever been married? Andrea?
No.
No? Okay. I do know that there's been some headway made in that area.
Yes.
And I do know some friends of mine, and people have been married, and I think it's awesome, great for them. Why can't everybody be miserable with marriage, right?
Exactly.
That's what I say. Let's not keep the misery of marriage from anybody here.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you, what do you think, Andrew? Could you give me an example of something that let me see how I put this. Something that's commonly said or done in society around you that you pick up because your mind is there, but heterosexuals might say do on an everyday basis? Just, is there anything a little that just rubs you the wrong way and you're like, you know?
Not really anymore that I see.
Yeah,
Before it was real big with the names, just shooting
right.
the names out there for any reason,
Yes,
calling people faggots or,
right,
dykes. I don't like that. You don't
right,
see it as much anymore unless, you're fighting with somebody and that's the only thing they can come up with.
right.
I don't know. I mean, really, it's not as bad anymore as it even was 5-10 years ago.
You know what? That's awesome to hear. That
Yeah.
really is. And
Like,
you think to yourself, I mean, is it, a lot is becoming more acceptable on television, just with famous people that, we look up to and say, hey, there's nothing wrong with this person. Why did grandpa tell me that this is such a terrible thing? You know what I mean? I think people are finally starting to see, Andrea. And you know what? 2022, it's about fucking time, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's still a lot more. There's a lot more that need to see it, but
Right.
we're getting there.
Absolutely. Moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
And the thing that's, at the end of the day, it's tough is, no matter what you're doing in life, there's always going to be people that are assholes. And, things could be fucking great in life. And then you just come across one fucking person at the wrong time. And, things like that kind of get you. But what do? You know what I mean? I often think that, like, just in life, things can be great, but you're always going to have the one. There's always going to be one person who, they're just put in your life to be an asshole.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them out there, unfortunately, too.
There really is.
Yeah.
There really is. But like what you're saying, Andrew, do you think maybe because you were younger, do you think maybe younger people still deal with the name calling? Because like you said, now we're in our 40s. People our age might be starting to come around saying, you know what am I doing? Why would I even say this about somebody? Why would it has nothing to do with my life. And what these people are doing with their life has nothing to do with my life. Why would I have such a disgusting opinion and such an ignorant opinion? I just think that, to hear that things in your life personally being where we are at our age or not bad,
No.
getting better. Those are good things to hear, Andrea.
Yeah. I mean, it seems to be getting better. It seems to be getting better for the younger generations, different than it was for us. I mean, I never really had any problems though with it.
Right.
Some kids have. I mean, they do,
Absolutely.
like you said, to the point where they want to, commit suicide. And I think that's one thing that the movement is definitely trying to, put it more out there so these kids feel safer to be who they want to be. So they're not thinking that they're different and they shouldn't be alive because of it.
Yes, you're right. That's one of the most sad things that I deal with when I read and and I hear things is kids that want to kill themselves. And I was a teenager, and being a teenager, being a teenager isn't easy to begin with. So you're dealing with all the usual things of being a teenager. On top of this, you could see how this could really have an effect on young people. And again, at the end of the day, do you want this person dead? Do you want this person to to lose their life? I just don't. I don't get that. I don't get that.
I've never understood that.
No, and it's just the ignorance of people. You know what I mean? People are fucked up, man. Okay, so you attend the parades regularly. Now, do you ever travel anywhere else, Andrew? Do you go to any of the other cities to maybe participate in bigger parades such as New York City, anywhere, anything like that? Or you basically stay close to home here and do the
I've only
Pittsburgh?
been to Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Going, but there's not enough hours in the day. It seems like.
Yeah, right.
I tell you what, though, that New York parade looks like the biggest party you will ever see in your life.
I know. I almost.
It looks like if you don't get like pumped up or happy just to seeing everyone out there just celebrating life in general, like there's something wrong with you, because that looks like just a damn good party.
Right.
And I'm not like a go out person
they're having so
anymore.
much
I would
fun.
go up there and party.
people of every race, creed, size, you know, and you're watching this thing, and like you said, what is wrong with the people who are sitting on the other side of the TV screens, you know, making derogatory, you know, do you do that on a regular parade, like with the Thanksgiving parade? You know, think you don't sit there and
well, Snoopy knows what he did to me, so he knows why I'm yelling at him. Okay. Snoopy knows what he did. It's between me and Snoopy. I'm just throwing it out there.
I don't know what the fuck that means, but I'm lost.
Every time I see Snoopy on the Thanksgiving parade, I start yelling at the TV. He knows what he did.
All right, I'm gonna leave. Andrea.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've known each other for quite some time. When we were kids, I can recall being in your neighborhood. A friend of mine, we would often come to your neighborhood to hang out with kids from your neighborhood. We would play football, we would play basketball. I mean, the time that we spent up there was endless as younger people. And you know, I can remember you up there hitting the guys just as hard as the next guy. At what point in your life, Andrea, did you know that you started having these different feelings? Was it early on?
Yes.
Okay.
Very early.
Okay. Now, like, you know, I mean, there was a difference in grade and you know, when you're in school. So, I mean, I didn't know a lot of things about every single person in the school, but was it something that was difficult for you? I mean, was there situations where, or did nobody really know? Like, how did that play out for you?
At first no one did, but as we like went into high school and like my group of friends did and people did, I was actually fortunate. Nobody really said anything to me from school or was ignorant about it or any. I mean, I was very fortunate.
Oh, good. That's awesome to hear. I mean, like I said, I mean, we're in school. I'm sorry.
I can't remember not one time really that somebody at school said anything to me for that reason.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
That has to make you feel good inside, just because, you know, I could feel comfortable around the people around me. You know what I mean? And that's big, because here's the thing: for 13 years, you have to go to this damn building and be around these people. So that's really great that worked out, you know, for you like that.
Yeah.
How let me ask you this. I was kind of similar to what I asked you before. How often would you say on average in your life? Once a month, once every 6 months, once a year? Are you around, or you know, you're at work, you're at the store, you're around friends, you're around people, and somebody says something derogatory and they don't mean it? Because here's the thing that I could find to be a problem. Even people that don't have an issue with people, just because of society, you say shit that you don't mean. You say because that's what people around you are doing, and to them it might not even, you know. How often do you say, Andrea, in life, do you encounter somebody that just, you know, just slips up and you're like, you know, and they look, you know, and they're like, fuck, I didn't mean, you know what I mean? Is there anything like that in life?
I mean, yeah, it's happened, but it's been a long time. Long
Good.
time. I
That's
haven't
good.
encountered any of that.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you'll hear the young kids still calling each other them names that they shouldn't be saying, but they
Right.
don't, half the time they don't know what they're saying. So I mean, they're kids.
You're right. You're right. I could recall, you know, my neighbors, they were two brothers, you know them very well. They used to fight, and they would get in fist fights, and they would be out on the ground. And I could just remember them yelling that to each other. They were brothers, for one. And it's just something that, you know, like you said, people, they're not really saying it to be an asshole, to be homophobic, to be anything like that. It's just kind of used as something you say in rage. And you know, that's unfortunate too, because, you know, that being one of the times that words like that come out, sucks, because you know what I mean?
Yeah. You learn though, when you're like it your whole life, them words, they don't bother you. I mean,
Right.
sometimes they do, but just to hear them in passing or hear someone calling someone else out, you just kind of shake your head. You get to the point where you're just whatever.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, Andrea, I just always think, I think that people are just assholes. And you're probably gonna hear me say this 30 times during this show today, but at the end of the day, I mean, anything that you look into, it always comes down to people just being, people they suck. People suck for the most part.
Oh yeah.
And, I think that's for everybody. I mean, myself included. You can't go out without running into somebody that's some kind of fucking asshole. And you know what? I don't leave my house half the time, and that's why. You just what a world. What a world.
That's how I am. Working home because just can't deal with it.
Exactly. And it seems like every time you leave your house, you drop $50. Whether it be for this, that, gas, it's always something.
Yes.
Andrea, again, I don't recall. It's been many, many years since I've seen you. Have you been with a member of the opposite sex before?
No.
Okay. No, that's like I said, sister. No, there's no. I'm here to listen. What positive changes? What are some of the positive changes would you say that I guess you already touched up on this. I mean, you said that things are getting seemingly better. The youth is more involved. I mean, those are all great things. What are some things that you, Andrea, personally would like to see change moving forward?
With the youth getting more involved, I'd definitely like to see their families get more involved with them.
Okay.
More than just on, Pride Month, more than the parade day, every day of the year.
Yes.
They should be involved.
You know what? That's probably one of the best answers you could give. What I find about you, Andrea, I've noticed that you're talking a lot about family, loved ones. I do know some background. I know a lot of background, because I know you. And at the end of the day, I think that's what's really important is our families, is the people that's directly close to us in our lives. And like you said, the more that these people get involved and show their support, like you said, not just in June. We want to see people showing the same support in November and in February, and hopefully that's ultimately where everything goes.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, would you say that things are 10 being, pretty damn awesome with just the way society is going in this regard? 1 being things are terrible. And I think you've already answered the question, but give me a number. Where would you think, personally, Andrea, where would you think that things are right now as a society in regards to this matter?
Probably around a 6 or 7. They've got a little ways to go still.
Okay.
It seems like it's accepted more in society, and it seems like every time it gets accepted more in society, higher ups having problems with it. Like, we always got to worry about if our rights are going to be taken or if it's even going to be a question, and that shouldn't even be a question.
You're right. We couldn't agree more. I think that these people that are making laws for the rest of us that are plus 80 years old, they have no right making decisions and laws up for people that are significantly younger than they are. That's like us making rules for 90-year-old people, and I don't know what 90-year-old people do with their lives. I don't know what they want to do. How can I sit there and make these judgment calls and things that I don't like that they're doing? And I just it's a power thing. It's the higher ups, like you said, that I don't have an answer for that, but you know what? I agree with you. They suck.
Yeah. They need to I think they just need to leave us alone. There's way more things in this world to worry about than who we love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's a lot more things to worry about than, what goes on in somebody else's home. Yeah. And if nothing bad is happening, what's the problem? Nobody's hurting anybody. Nobody's, you know what I mean? People who love one another are spending time together.
Yep.
It's really hard to fathom, Andrea. It really is. Let me ask you, what does Pride Month mean to you?
Everything. I mean, it's,
Yeah,
Pride Day. It's a day that we go and you can be yourself. And I mean, I feel you should be able to be yourself every day of the year. But in some instances, that's just not true. You can't.
right,
You think you can. It's accepted, but you can't.
right.
It's very important to me because, like the show you're doing today, each year, more people get involved, and it's opening up, people's minds more. So Pride Month means a lot to me because I think it's broadening, people's ideas and thoughts about the whole thing. I'm
And you
hoping
know
it.
what? That mean that the fact that it means a lot to you, whether you believe me or not, it means a lot to me because I don't want to see anybody that I know have bad things happen to them in life. You know what I mean? For one, you don't want to see bad things happen to anybody, but you know what? There's 7 billion people, and unfortunately, I can't control anything that goes on outside of my circle. However, I know people. I know people that I went to school with. I know people that I spent a lot of time with. And you don't want to see anything bad happen to those people, and no matter who they are or what they're doing. So for that statement, in which the way that you answered that means something to me because we invited you on. We wanted to talk about everything, and obviously, people mean something to me as people, and like I said, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care who you are. If we're friends, I mean, criminy, you and I used to play football, and like I said, oh, geez, the time spent up there, in your neck of the woods was, I can't even begin to think about all the time we spent up there.
Oh, oh
So,
yeah.
so that it means something to me hearing that come from you as a friend, as a person that I've known my whole life. I mean, really, we basically were neighbors our whole lives, and
Yeah.
it's it's wild. It's a wild ride, ain't it, Andrea?
It is. It is.
Let's see. I blew through a lot of my questions, and I think the fun part is going to be I have something set up now. Uh, hey, Mike, do you have anything, bud? Why don't you go ahead and talk for a minute while I get the game set up?
Uh-oh. See, now I'm put on the spot. I was I was engrossed in the conversation you guys were having. Oh, yeah, buddy, hold on. I'll get your cereal in a minute. The joys of the joys of doing an interview with a little kid around.
Is he up?
Oh, he wants his cereal.
That little booger.
Oh yeah. But oh god, I did have a how you were saying about like the youth. I noticed that like too online, like just in different forums in general, like no matter what the topic is, like it seems like the younger generation is more engaged in everything now. And I noticed like when you're saying that, oh, we turn around and there's like a group of teenagers that weren't there in the past, and I'm reading stuff on Pride, on like school violence, stuff like noticing more and more kids taking that upon themselves to be out there and be like, yeah, we may be kids, we may be younger, but we're still going to express ourselves this way, that way, and no one's going to stop us. And I this is going to propel like this movement and other movements. It's going to push it forward and faster, I think, than it has in the past.
I hope so.
Because you look like where like a lot of this stuff came from. Like you see, like you read up about it, like what happened like in the '60s up in New York with the police raiding all the clubs and like burning them down. Toward now, if you try, like people can't even. They try and do that now, and like everyone will rally around or make sure that shit doesn't happen. And God, it's just weird to see that like how brazen that was in like the 50s, 60s, 70s of this. More or less, it was like just open terrorism on a group of people that you didn't like, and it took till like more or less till what. Well, even in the 90s, if you go back and you watch shows and movies and listen to music, it really wasn't that accepted up until maybe like what, early 2000s, maybe mid 2010s. So to see like where the progress came, a lot of it stuff started in the 60s, but it really didn't see a lot of change up until about 15 years ago. And that's just wild. And hopefully with the younger generation, now showing up, and things will exponentially, increase for the better. And like you said, every day you have to worry about your rights being taken away. You just read the news, like read some Supreme Court cases, like, okay, what else are like just people in general losing? Then you see, okay, what the marginalized society, that's what they're losing. And it's even more than everyone else. And that's just a scary spot for anyone who's like quote unquote outside of like the norm. I hate to say that, but you know what I mean, to where we don't have to fight, like Ryan and I, we don't have to fight for our rights, but watching people who are just like us, but they just love someone different, they have to fight for rights. How anyone can see that as something okay, it's weird to me, because you're born here, everyone should have the same rights. Doesn't matter.
You know what? It couldn't be more true. The time of the people showing up in mobs, messing with people because of their color, people that show up in mobs messing with people because of their sexuality. That time is done, people. That time is done. That mentality is such an old school mentality, and I'm not a young person. I'm about in my early 20s. Everybody knows, you could tell, but those times are done. They're done, people.
Hey, you need your cereal?
Knock it the fuck off.
Bubby,
Andrea, I got a little something I prepared, okay? And this basically is a thank you to you for coming and talking to us. Like I said, you didn't have to, but you are somebody that I've always considered a friend, regardless of how much we've talked in the past. We grew up together, sister. So I put together a little game for you here. And what we're going to do is we're going to ask you some pride questions. And depending on how we finish up, we either have a $25 gift certificate for Buffalo Wild Wings or a Happy Dining certificate, which has one of the 6 different options. You could either go to Red Lobster, Cracker Barrel, Cheesecake Factory, Buffalo Wild Wings, P.F. Chang's, or McCormick and Schmidt's. And that's a $50 gift certificate. So we're going to play a little game here. I'm simply just going to take questions that I'm looking at on the internet. Mike, you go for yourself.
Rude.
All right, Andrew, these are fairly simple. I think that you're going to do a great job. I'm not saying that you'll do a great job because they're simple. I'm just saying in general.
Wow.
I know I'm offending everybody. All right. Andrea, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Question number 1. What is the symbol of the LGBTQI community? Is it A, the 6-pointed star, B, the rainbow flag, or C, a colorful rose?
B.
B, and is that your final answer?
Yes.
Absolutely. Of course, it is the rainbow flag. Number 1, we threw you a softball, all right? All right. Doing great. We're off to a good start. In 1978, Andrea, the rainbow flag was first displayed at a Gay Freedom Day parade in which U.S. city? Was it A, New York City? Was it B, San Francisco? Or was it C, Los Angeles?
I'm going to go with B.
B, San Francisco. And is that your final answer?
Yeah.
That is correct. That is correct. It is B, San Francisco. Great job.
Those are all good choices too to pick.
It really is.
Like, if you told me like one city over the other was the first, I'd believe you.
Right. All right. Number 3. According to Guinness World Records, which country holds the world record for having the largest pride parade in the world? Now, this one's a little tougher. Is it A, Brazil, B, the United States, or C, Mexico? Again, we're looking for the Guinness World Record for having the largest pride parade in the world? Is it A, Brazil, B, the US, or C, Mexico?
I'm still going to go with B.
You're going to go with B. You sure you don't want to change your answer?
I'm sure.
You sure you don't want to change it to A?
I was thinking Brazil. I knew it wasn't Mexico, but I was thinking Brazil.
And Brazil's your final answer.
All right, we'll go with Brazil.
All right. Great job. That is correct. You're burning through them. You're burning through them. All right. Let's see. Number 4. This is for gift certificates. Like I said, we get I don't know the rules. We'll have to know that later. What does the letter T in LGBTQI stand for? Is it A, telegender? Is it B, transgender? Or is it C, trigender?
B.
B, transgender. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
And that is correct. Great job. 4 for 4, Andrea.
I do have a quick question. What would telegender be? Like, I'm just trying to figure that one out. Trigender, I can understand. Okay.
Right.
But telegender, I don't know that one.
That's a good question.
Drawing a blank.
All right, here we go. All right. Andrea, number 5. Which is the first country to legalize same-sex marriage in 2001? Which is the first country? I'm just reading the way. I mean, if this makes sense. Which is the first country to legalize same-sex marriage in 2001? A, Norway, B, France, or C, the Netherlands?
Oh, that's a tough one.
That is a tough one. But if you look at the questions, you will see that the answer is in there. Is it A, Norway, B, France, or C, the Netherlands?
You go with the Netherlands.
The Netherlands. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right. That is correct. And Mike, anytime that there's down airtime, if you would like to just chime in, that would be fantastic.
No, I'm over here keeping score. I'm watching you struggle to try to find questions,
operate a computer.
I keep forgetting, we're not only are we a visual platform, we're also an audio platform too. Then I do gotta talk every once in a while.
This is why we keep them on board, Andrea.
I'm not the best co-host in the business for nothing.
All right, here's one. I never knew this, so let's go ahead and read this one. Which historical event is often to be considered to be the beginning of the gay rights movement in modern times? Now we're looking for the event that is considered to be the beginning of the gay rights movement in modern times. Your choices are the publication of the Los Angeles Advocate in 1967, the Stonewall riots in 1969, and finally the Parents of Friends of Gays meeting in 1973. I know that was a lot to take in, but we're looking for an event, a historical event that would be considered to be the beginning of the gay rights movement in modern time. Would it be A, the publication of the Los Angeles Advocate in 67, B, the Stonewall riots in 69, or C, the Parents and Friends of Gays meeting in 73? Do you have a guess on that?
I think it's B.
Think it's B?
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
It's B. Good job. Where are we at now, Mike? What is the score right at this moment?
6-0.
Okay, so she got 6 right, 0 wrong.
Yeah. And
right,
speaking of the Stonewall riots, anyone out there listening, read up on those.
Really?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I don't care. I
So
don't care if you
once
like
he
history or
gets,
not. Read up on that shit.
all right, Mike. So we have 6 questions guessed correctly. Is that true? Is that right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, so we get to 10. If she gets to 10 correct, she gets to the first plateau and she wins $25. She
All
wins
right.
$25 to Buffalo Wild Wings. So here we go. Question number 7.
7.
Since when have people from the LGBTQI community been allowed to serve openly in the British Armed Forces? The British Armed Forces, we're looking for a year. Was it 1990, Andrea? Was it 2000? Or was it 2010? If you'd like me to repeat the question, I will.
2010.
Since 2010. Let me see. You want to, so you're saying C, do you want to be sure that that's your answer? B,
What were the years again? I know it wasn't the first one.
1990 was A, 2000 was B, and 2010 was C.
I'll go with B. I know it wasn't 90.
Okay, there you go. And the correct answer is B, 2000. So you are 1 question away, Andrea. You get this next one right, you, no matter what, walk away with a $25 gift certificate to Buffalo Wild Wings. All right. Are you ready?
I want some wings now.
Well, you're a wing.
You told me to fill dead air, and I do, and you yell at me. I see how it is.
Yeah, keep going.
Now you want me to keep talking. We're gonna end up on divorce court.
All right.
It's a couples therapy or some shit.
All right, here we go. For the first gift certificate, Andrea, the question is, for most of the 20th century, many researchers often associated homosexuality with what? Was it A, genetics, B, religion, or C, upbringing?
For most of the century.
For most of the 20th century, many researchers often associated homosexuality with what? Genetics, religion, or upbringing? I see you winning.
It has to be C because it definitely wasn't A. Or B.
Great job, C, upbringing. And you win, Andrew. You win $25 as of right now. No matter what, this can't be taken away from you, no matter if you miss the next 5 questions, whatever. However, if you answer the next 5 questions correctly, not only do you win the $25 gift certificate, you also will win the $50 certificate as well to any of the places listed on the card. We're pulling for you. I think you're going to do it. I think you're going to do it. Mike, what's the score?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. She has 9 right.
She has 9 right.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We all know that men are from Mars and women are from Venus. So which planet is a symbol used by the transgendered community? Is it A, Saturn, B, Mercury, or C, Jupiter? We all know that men are from Mars, women are from Venus. But which planet is used as a symbol by the transgendered community? Saturn, Mercury, or Jupiter?
Jupiter.
Hold on, let's think this out. This could be a tough one. This could be a tough one if you let it. Is it A, Saturn, B, Mercury, or C, Jupiter?
Mercury.
Mercury, are you sure?
Yeah.
That's a tough one, but I think you got it. Great job. So that is 10 right. You are four correct questions away, Andrea, from winning both of these gift certificates. How you feeling?
Pretty good.
You're doing great.
Now I got to look up why Mercury. It's going to bother me all day.
Yeah, you let me know.
I will. I'll bring it to the show tomorrow.
Okay, this is a good one. I didn't know this, but I think it's a pretty interesting question. Which symbol was adopted by the lesbian community in the 1970s to represent self-sufficiency and strength? Was it A, a double-edged axe? Was it B, two swords? Or is it C, a trident? Which symbol adopted by the lesbian community in the 70s was chosen to represent self-sufficiency and strength? Was it A, the double-axe sword, B, two cross swords, or C, the trident?
That's a tough one.
This could be a tough one. Yes, you're right.
It could be. I think it's the double-sided axe. A?
A, the double-edged axe?
Yes.
That is correct. Great job. Great job.
That's actually badass.
It really is.
That is.
Mike, you know I'm mildly retarded. Where are we at now?
Oh God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We were at 10. We just did 1. So add 10 and 1.
So she has 3 more. 14,
Yes.
14 is our goal. 3 left. Andrea, you are doing great. Off to the next question.
Oh God, as Ryan scrolls and looks lost. He's focused. Eye of the tiger. He's determined. Still looking. Sound him out.
Right. Here we go. Last 3. In ancient China, homosexuality was often referred to as the bitten A, apple, B, peach, or C, pear. Now, it's ancient China we're talking about. Homosexuality was often referred to as the bitten apple, peach, or pear.
I don't know much about China, but A?
A, the bitten apple.
Maybe not.
It may be it may not be the apple. Is it the apple, the peach, or the pear? May not be the apple.
Peach.
B? Are you sure?
Yeah.
That is correct. The answer is peach. Great job.
Huh. The bitten peach.
A bitten peach. I like that. I don't know why. It seems exotic, doesn't it?
It does too. Like I can picture a visual of like a peach being bitten.
Yes. By a Chinese guy. You know what I mean?
Jackie Chan eating a peach.
Yes. Let's see. Okay. 2 more. Last 2. When was the first official gay pride rally held in London, the United Kingdom? When was the first official gay pride rally held in London? The United Kingdom, of course. 62, 72, or 82, all from the 90s. We're looking for either A, 1962, B, 1972, or C, 1982. We're looking for the first official gay pride rally in London.
Maybe 83. It might have been C or.
Take a little time to be more sure what you're going to pick.
I know it wasn't the 60s. It had to be 70s or 80s. So we'll go with B.
And final answer is B.
Yes.
And that is correct. 1972. Andrew, I don't know. You're a freaking genius. Let's see. All right, last one. I gotta find a doozy here because this one's for all the.
We lost your audio.
Love technology, everybody.
Always, always.
Last question. This was for all the marbles. Now, there's been questions in China. There's been questions in Brazil. There's been questions in London. This one here touches American culture. So are you ready for the final question, Andrea? Number 14. Here we go. Which popular U.S. sitcom was the first one to portray same-sex marriage on TV, which later attracted mild censorship and controversy? This is a you got to really think about this one, and you'll see why as I give you the answers. Is it A, Friends, B, How I Met Your Mother, or C, The Big Bang Theory? Again, which popular U.S. sitcom was the first one to portray same-sex marriage on TV, which later attracted mild censorship and controversy? A, Friends, B, How I Met Your Mother, C, Big Bang Theory. Are you familiar with any of these shows, Andrea?
I'm familiar with A and C a little bit. Never really seen B. I don't really remember A. I'm trying to think. Same sex on Friends.
Well, on the other hand, could you remember it on The Big Bang Theory? You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not supposed to be helping because you're doing very great, and I don't want to give you any help on these questions, of course.
Of course.
But if I was, like I said, it's something when we got to think about, because I think you could nail it out of the park.
C.
It could be a tough one. Could be a tough.
I've seen every episode of Friends, and I'm going to say Friends because I'm going to say Friends.
That makes sense. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think through them myself. And so Friends is your final answer, Andrea?
Yes.
And the final answer, the correct answer, I'm sorry, is Friends.
All right. I'm trying to remember that episode. I can't think of it. Oh, no, wait. Ross's first wife.
Yes.
There we go. It just zapped into my head. Yeah, I forgot about her.
It makes sense. And like you said, Andrea, I never really got into How I Met Your Mother, but from what I know, I don't recall anything like that on Big Bang Theory. Of course, Sheldon, but Friends is the final answer. And Andrea, you got every single question right today. I'm blown away. I'm blown away by your infinite knowledge. And because of this, Andrea, you win 2 gift certificates today. You win 1, a $25 gift certificate to Buffalo Wild Wings, and 2, the Happy Dining gift certificate for $50 for either the Cheesecake Factory, Red Lobster, Buffalo Wild Wings, to Cracker Barrel, P.F. Chang's, or McCormick and Schmidt's. So $75 worth of dining. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Do you like any of these places?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You were just trying not to have to give up the gift card. That's what that sounded like.
No, Ryan, it was just so great seeing you after all these years. You don't have to worry about giving me them, No,
hey, go ahead, keep the card.
Did. You won 2 gift certificates. We're very excited for you. There was nothing more I wanted more than you to come, a lifelong friend of mine, to come on the show today and win, and you did. I'm so excited for you. Andrea, let me ask you before we take off today. I mean, that hour flies right by every day, I have to say. Let me ask you before you take off, is there anything that you want to say just to people in general? I mean, who knows? Someday this show might blow up and a gazillion people might watch. What's a message that Andrea wants to say just to people in general about the, about everything that we're talking about? Maybe a message of hope, maybe a message of, give us something, Andrea, before we take off.
everybody just needs to calm down and let everyone else live their lives.
You know what? I couldn't
Spot
agree
on.
more. And that's one of the most sensible things that I've heard in a long time.
Yes.
Andrea, we want to thank you so much. You know, I tried to get a few people to come in and compete against you. However, they must have sensed your infinite knowledge and decided to not go for the challenge. But you, my friend, you are the winner today. And again, we are very excited. I really wanted to have this show. I really feel that it's important to have this show. And like Andrea said, it's not only about one day. It's not only about one show. It's not only about 1 month. This is something as people that we just have to say, you know what? Why do I even, why would I even care what anybody is doing with their life? When I go to the mall, I go to Walmart, I go downtown Pittsburgh, there's a gazillion people. You know what? I don't give two shits what anybody does. Why? That's over, people. That's old. We should be embarrassed. We should be embarrassed to have that mindset in our society. However, unfortunately, that's not the case. So we will continue to keep working, people. We will continue to keep working. But you know what? Most importantly, let's continue to be kind to each other as human beings. Let's continue to, no matter who the fellow American is, no matter if the fellow American is a rapper, if the fellow American is a nudist, if the fellow American is a transgender, if the fellow American, which are all guests that we've had on our show. We've had all those people as guests on our show. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to build a bridge for human beings in our country, because that's what's important. And at the end of the day, people were important. Everybody's important to somebody. So for everybody watching today, we want to thank you. We want to thank you. I hope, if anything, take something away from this that's positive. And for Ryan, Mike, and our special guest, Andrea, we want to thank you so much for watching. You have a great day. Bye-bye.